The vicious campaign against Meghan Sussex must end. When Meghan Sussex posted a lighthearted video of herself dancing in a hospital room while 9 months pregnant, she probably thought she was sharing a relatable moment that other mothers would appreciate. Instead, within hours, online trolls and conspiracy theorists weaponized it as proof she was never pregnant at all. This nightmare is what Meghan's life has become. Every joyful moment gets twisted into ammunition by people who've made destroying her their full-time job. And we need to talk about what this sustained cruelty has done to a woman whose only crime was falling in love with a prince. The moon bump conspiracy, which claims Meghan faked both pregnancies with prosthetic bellies, represents a special kind of cruelty. Here's a woman who bravely shared her miscarriage story to help other women feel less alone in their grief. She opened up about one of the most painful experiences a person can endure, and how do these conspiracy theorists respond? By claiming her subsequent pregnancies were elaborate hoaxes. Imagine being 9 months pregnant, your body aching, preparing to bring life into the world, and thousands of strangers are dissecting your every photo to prove your baby isn't real. Meghan revealed she was the most trolled person in the entire world in 2019 while pregnant with Archie. She's spoken about how the harassment drove her to thoughts of suicide. A pregnant woman was pushed to the edge of despair by people who found entertainment in her anguish. The recent dance video illuminates this persecution perfectly. Here's Meghan trying to induce labor, sharing a funny, intimate moment millions of mothers can relate to. Within hours, it became Exhibit A in the conspiracy theorists' case against her. They zoomed in on her moving belly, claiming it proved she wore a prosthetic. They analyzed her IV line, suddenly becoming medical experts. They took a moment of joy and transformed it into a weapon. This isn't normal criticism. It's psychological torture designed to break someone's spirit. And the worst part? These aren't random acts of cruelty. They're coordinated, monetized, and amplified by people who profit from Meghan's pain. YouTube channels devoted entirely to proving Meghan's pregnancies were fake, generating millions of dollars. British tabloids have built entire business models around tearing Meghan apart, knowing that her name on a negative headline guarantees clicks and sales. Social media influencers discovered that attacking Meghan drives more engagement than any other content they produce. Hatred hasn't just become a business model, it's become an entire industry, with Meghan suffering as its most profitable product. The online vitriol has translated into terrifying real-world threats. Britain's former counterterrorism chief disclosed that Meghan faced disgusting and very real threats from far-right extremists during her time in the UK's security teams investigated numerous credible plots against her life. People have been prosecuted for threatening to kill her. While navigating motherhood as a new parent, Meghan simultaneously confronted vicious online conspiracy theories and lived under the shadow of genuine terrorist threats. Meghan once said the abuse was almost unsurvivable. Think about that word, almost. She survived, but barely. She got through it with therapy, with Harry's support, with sheer determination, but she shouldn't have had to survive anything. She should have been able to enjoy her pregnancies like any other woman. But the attacks don't stop with Meghan. Anyone who dares to publicly defend her becomes a target themselves. The message is clear. Support Meghan Sussex, and we'll come for you too. The goal isn't just to hurt Meghan, it's to isolate her completely. They want her to look around and see no allies, no defenders, no one willing to brave the storm to stand with her. The social media platforms that host this hate bear responsibility. The tabloids that report on these conspiracies for cliques bear responsibility, but most of all, we as a society bear responsibility for allowing this cruelty to continue. Meghan Sussex is a real person with real feelings who carried and delivered 2 real children. She's a mother who can't share her joy without it being weaponized against her. The moon bump conspiracy isn't just false. It's an act of sustained cruelty against someone who dared to join the royal family while being Black, American, and unwilling to suffer in silence. Somewhere tonight, Meghan might be looking at her children, the very children strangers claim don't exist, and wondering if she'll ever be free to share their milestones without unleashing a torrent of hate. These conspiracy theorists have participated in the theft of a mother's joy.
From my standpoint, how I will continue to express this, both through our foundation and through being able to move through the world, I suppose, is just looking at this as my chapter of joy. And the more that you are able to look at your life and really, truly recognize that if you're going to be grateful for your life, you have to be grateful for all aspects of it. The parts that were opportunities of growth and may have felt really difficult, as well as the parts that feel inspiring, joyful, and full. And I think part of the role modeling doesn't necessarily need to be a large plan, it just needs to be an intention. And my intentionality is to enjoy this chapter and to be able to move through every piece of that as best as I can, modeling that if we are in the spirit of gratitude and of generosity, how we are able to connect with each other as women, how we are able to move through the world in a much freer way, I think is part of how we continue to create the conditions I was speaking about earlier. And you may have noticed it, my husband and I were talking about it this morning. I've just really relaxed on this trip. That's probably because it's Colombia and you all know how to have fun. But there's been something really, that's true. There's something so liberating about being able to be yourself and be comfortable in your skin and be surrounded in a space that is excited to see you exactly the way that you are. And so I think that is part of the chapter for me of joy that will hopefully continue to inspire and allow me to keep doing the work that we love to do, which is to just be of service and see other people live their lives through that same joyful spirit.
Hola. Hola. Ahí muy buenas tardes. Me gustaría empezar en español. Porque estamos en su país, mi marido y yo, y puedo sentir este abrazo de Colombia y es increíble. Entonces, gracias, muchas gracias, porque la cultura, la historia, todo estaba como un sueño, este viaje. Y perdona si mi español no está perfecto, porque yo aprendí hace 20 años en Argentina. Pero estoy tratando, porque acá puedo sentir esta comunidad. Y este es el sentimiento que es lo mejor del mundo ahora. Entonces, gracias, vicepresidenta, mi amiga. Muchas gracias. Y bueno, ahora en inglés. So I will say...